What?
What?
What the hell is this?
Harumph. I didn't get a harumph out of that guy.
Give the governor harumph.
Harumph!
You watch your ass.
I see you shiver with anticipation.
Let the show begin.
Hey, everybody, this is David Heretic coming at you with another edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. And tonight, okay, we're coming back to Beast in Black. Yes, indeed, Beast in Black fans, feeling you. Come on now. Here we go. Before we go any further, for those of you who are feeling inclined to doing all the clicks and the likes and the bibbity-bobbity-bop, do me a favor, before you do all that stuff, please watch the whole video first, okay? Give me a chance to actually earn those clicks and likes. Now, after the video's done, still feel like doing all those clicks and likes, then by all means, feel free to click away. This comes as a request from Morten Asvog, and Morten wanted to see me react to this song by Beast in Black called Crazy, Mad, Insane. Now, have I heard this song before? No, I have not. To the best of my knowledge, this does not resonate with me in any way, shape, or form. However, there's always a possibility I may have heard this song in passing and I just don't realize it. So as always, if I start listening to the song and I suddenly go, wait a second, I recognize this song, I'll let you know.
That's the truth.
You know me, I'm going to be honest with you guys. Let's see, this was posted by Nuclear Blast Records. Okay. And the video has 548,000 views. It'll get you there. Other than that, there's really nothing else left to say. Link to the original video will be down below in the video description for your viewing pleasure at your leisure. Let's get started. What do you say? Are you ready? Are you ready? Because here we go. All right, here we go. Beast in Black, Crazy, Mad, Insane, official live video. Wah, wah, wah.
Oh! Ew! Dude!
Yeah, there's that word official coming off of Nuclear Blast's official page. I've had some issues with their copyright companies before. They use several. Sometimes I'm dealing with Believe. Sometimes I'm dealing with Orchard. Sometimes I'm dealing with UMG. And guys, honestly, all three of them are trash bags. So I hate dealing with those three companies because they do. They definitely protect their publishing rights without question. And I'm not blaming Nuclear Blast. It's not their fault. Well, kind of is. They're the ones who chose those three companies to, hold their publishing rights. So I don't know. Every time I see the word official, I know it's coming from Nuclear Blast and from Napalm Records. I know I'm going to be either dealing with Believe Music, the Orchard Music Group, or I'm going to be dealing with the dreaded UMG. So, I just know I'm in for it. I guess we'll have to wait and see how it turns out, though. All right, let's do this.
All right, boy, let's do this.
Oh, wow. The techno shades.
You built a kingdom of hypocrisy, and then you tried to name it honesty. I bear the burden of the blame that you poured on me.
What? Okay, what just happened here? We now we're going to we started out with, you know, a very typical sound and a very typical style from Beast in Black, synth heavy, but guitar driven. You know, it's just a very straight ahead feel. And now all of a sudden, we're switching styles to more of a cross between like 50s doo-wop and I don't know if I would. It definitely a soul feel, but I don't know if I would go as far as to say Motown, but it has definitely some soul feel to it, but really focusing more on the 50s doo-wop. What in the world happened there? That and it's not even like there was a transition. It just, I mean, there was a transition. It was a sudden transition. It just, you know, it just was coasting along, and now we got to this point, and now we're here. It wasn't gradual at all. It just flipped on itself. And we got, I don't know if I would say Santa Claus, maybe Saint Nick, because of the robe. I'm very confused right now. Very. I'm sure there's a reason, and hopefully that reason will get explained, or at least have some light shed on it, you know, as we continue here. But as it stands right now, I'm very discombobulated. It's very awkward. And it just keeps getting stranger.
I said, yeah, it's hard to be a tonto. Eolo se colon lopettaa. Töistä mun pois jo olla saa. Mutta jos olet tontumi.
We're throwing out gifts to the crowd. Awesome. Okay. Band merch, hopefully. Maybe some t-shirts. Maybe some signed drumsticks. I don't know. Now we switch gears again. Okay. God, you talk about a lot of moving parts. Here's the thing, if it was just for the song, I think I have an idea of a score for just the song. Everything else, I have no idea, because there are aspects that I liked, there were aspects that made sense, and then there were other aspects that just really kind of leaving me scratching my head going, why in the world did they do that? I honestly have no idea how this is going to turn out. But like I said, if it was just for the song, no problem. Give me 2 minutes and I'll have a score for you. No worries. This, taking everything else into account, though, I need at least 10 minutes to think about this. Man alive. Okay. Oh, boy. Let me get my thoughts together. I'll see you in the review, and we'll talk about it. Well, there you go, folks. That was Beast in Black with Crazy Mad Insane. This was a request from Morten Asvog. Okay, yeah, this took me some time. I had to think about this. I had to really put everything into perspective, and it wasn't easy, folks. It was not easy, but I did figure it out. I got a score I'm happy with. It makes perfect sense to me, and I can justify it and I can explain it. So let's get to it, shall we? On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give that overall presentation a 7.7. Yep, 7.7. I feel good about that score. Let me tell you why.
Why?
Okay, first things first, a 7.7. What does that mean? Well, a 7.7 would equate out to a really good skill rating, because overall, I think this was a really good presentation. It would also get 4 to 5 stars and a B+ letter grade. That's B as in boy, B+. So there you go, a 7.7, really good skill rating, 4 to 5 stars, and a B+ letter grade. Now, how did I come up with that score? So glad you asked. If this was just for the song, man, this would be so easy. I'd be able to come up. I would have been able to come up with the score seriously in about 2 minutes. Okay, the song's nice. Okay, it's not the best I've heard from them. It's not the strongest songwriting I've heard from them, but I will say it was pleasing to the ear, and it was catchy. The chorus, man, you're not going to get much of an easier chorus than that. That absolutely locked in with me. Like, it didn't even have to go through the whole thing. About halfway through the first chorus, I was like, yep, that's the hook. That's the hook. That's the most memorable part of the song. That was very easily the most memorable part of the song, in all honesty. The chordal progression made sense. It was very pleasing to the ear. And on top of that, the way that they metered out the title of the song, Crazy Mad Insane, pushing it along with the rhythmic pattern of the song, it made perfect sense. Everything about it just flowed like a river. Everything else in the song sounded really good, though. The verses sounded good. They definitely have their style where it's synth heavy. It is very synth heavy. But it's very much guitar, bass, and drums driven, along with all those electronica elements, like the synthetic drums. Obviously, we heard them, and the drummer wasn't doing anything. So, I mean, that's obviously track, but that follows suit, though, along with the synthesizers, having that, retro 80s, / early 90s sound to them, the synthwave sound. It's very fitting, and I'm actually kind of glad that they stay true to that theme. If they were to switch things up and, you know, get some other sound patches, you know, like a pipe organ patch, or, you know, something, you know, or, you know, maybe like a marimba patch or something like that. I shudder to think what that would sound like. I think that would totally destroy their theme and their ideals. I think that would not work out too well as far as presentation goes. So they're staying very true to their particular sounds, and I appreciate that. I do. It's a very identifiable thing for them. You will hear that and go, "Oh, that's definitely Beast in Black. That's totally them." So I got no issues with anything that was played. I think the guitar work was well done, bass and drums locked in. Vocally, I think everything I believe his name was Giannis. Everything he was singing sounded really good. So I got no issue with anything that was happening there. I have questions, however. The switch, when we did that instantaneous drop down to like a 50s doo-wop meets soul type of feel, I'm curious. Is that actually part of the studio recording, or was that added in for the purpose of the live show? If it was added in for the purpose of the studio recording, I don't know if that really fits. It's very jarring. It was very sudden, and it's a complete departure from what they were doing. You talk about comparing apples to Corvettes. I mean, that's about as far apart as you can get. That's about as complimentary as those two sections are. You have the main song, with their signature style, and out of nowhere, here comes this drop down, and I'm just like, it would be one thing if they kind of coincided in some way, shape, or form. If it was a little smoother in a transition, like maybe a deceleration into that next section, maybe something like that. But instead, they just dropped the hammer, just wham, all the way just down. And when they came back up, they did the same thing, just suddenly coming back up again. That makes me believe that was not part of the original studio recording. Now, I could be wrong about that. I've never heard the original studio recording before. So if Beast in Black fans could do me a favor, clue me in here. Was that doo-wop section, was that part of the original studio recording, or did they add that in for the purpose of the live show? If it's actually part of the studio recording, that is really going to leave me scratching my head. If they added it in strictly and purely for the live show, for that presentation that they did, that would make a lot more sense. It would definitely justify it, because, okay, we're going to switch gears because we want the attention to go to what was happening on stage. I'm not sure what the story is there, so please clue me in. As far as the live performance, did it help? Yeah, it did. It helped quite a bit, actually. I would put the song on its own. Honestly, I would put it about a 7. I'd put about a 7.1 on that song. Basing it on the assumption that doo-wop section is not part of the original studio recording. I'm making an assumption there. If it is, I'll have to lower the score, because that just does not make sense. And it was not done well as far as transitioning in and out of it goes. So I'm making the assumption that's not part of the original song. So I would give the 7.1 for everything else, though. The main riff, the verses, the chorus, and the overall instrumental performance as well, and vocal performance. So yeah, 7.1 sounds good. But the live performance brought it up to a 7.7, and let's go on the checklist, and I think I'll be able to show you how I can justify that. Stage presence, Yeah, check. Everybody looked like performers. Everybody acted like performers. I got no issue with the stage presence whatsoever. Stage energy. Yep, there was quite a bit. Giannis was moving around quite a bit. The actors that came out on stage, they were moving around. So there was definitely energy created on stage. Stage interaction. Here's where things get really interesting. When it comes to the band members, no, there was none. There was no interaction between band members whatsoever, which I'm starting to see as a little bit of a trend. I mean, I'm seeing the energy on stage, people walking, people, or even running, past each other, but nobody ever stops and takes a few seconds to interact with each other. And I really feel like those are some missed opportunities. Listen, if you're the lead vocalist and you're gonna walk in the direction of your lead guitar player, why not just take a couple seconds to stop and interact with them? Show that camaraderie to the crowd. Show the crowd that you guys actually like each other. It looks good. It really does look good. Plus, hopefully you guys do actually like each other and you'll have a good moment there. But unfortunately, between the band members, there was zero stage interaction. However, when the actors came out on stage, when the guy dressed, I don't think he's dressed like Santa Claus. He looks like he's dressed like Saint Nick with the traditional robe, long robe. And along with the two ladies that came out, they interacted with each other. They absolutely did. So technically, that's stage interaction. Yes, it is. So that counts. So it gets the check. Crowd interaction, huge check. Folks, you do not get much stronger crowd interaction than throwing, swag out into the crowd. It doesn't get much more effective than that. I have no idea what they were throwing out into the crowd. It could have been t-shirts wrapped up in little rolled up and stuffed inside little rectangular boxes that were then, gift wrapped, chucked out. It could have been drumsticks. It could have been any kind of merch pack, maybe some posters rolled up and stuffed inside those rectangular boxes. I hate to say it, but there's also a possibility that there was absolutely nothing in those rectangular boxes. And you're going to have some pretty upset people who actually managed to get one of those things, open it up and go, wait a minute, there's nothing inside there. That would be very disappointing. But the gesture was there and the interaction was there without question. We're going to talk a little bit about that at the end. Yeah, you don't get much more interactive with your crowd than that. So that gets a huge check. Showmanship. Yeah, the showmanship was there between what was going on with the actors and what the band was doing with their antics and stuff. It was definitely showmanship going on. Production, yeah. All the costumes. I love the techno shades. One of them had the readout of crazy. Another one had a readout of the word mad. Another one had the word insane. And I don't know what the lead vocalist had out on his, but I didn't understand that word. So I have no idea what it said. Plus, you had the costumes and the set from the actors on stage, the props. So yeah, production was absolutely there. So that gets a check. So this is how we ended up at a 7.7 from a 7.1. We went up 0.6 and we got out of the B's and into the B pluses. So it definitely helps. Your live show can help you out. It can also hurt you, but in this case, it definitely helped. Last thing I want to talk about is it's really more of a question than anything else. What is up with the whole Saint Nick thing anyway? I have a theory, and maybe people could clue me in and let me know if my theory is right or not. And if it's not, tell me what the reason is. What in the world was with the whole Christmas motif? I'm serious. I'm really curious to know because I found it interesting and I found it entertaining, but I also found it to be very confusing. It was done well. Okay, I'm going to give all the credit where credit's due. It was done well. I think I would have enjoyed it even more if I knew what the purpose was. Like if I knew that this show was happening, you know, like on Christmas Eve or, you know, Christmas Day even, or whatever the case may be, or maybe it was close to Christmas. Maybe it was like December 22nd, you know, and it was, you know, Christmas is right around the corner, so we're going to do this. If I had known that, I probably would have enjoyed it even more, you know, or if it had been explained in the course of the video, like if the lead singer had said to the crowd, hey, Christmas is right around the corner, we got a special guest for you guys, it done something like that. I think that would have been really cool, and I think it would have made it even more enjoyable, taking out some question marks. I just found it amusing, you know, I always find fascination when, you know, whether it be, you know, band members, bands, artists, whatever, and they include the whole Christmas, you know, Santa Claus lore, Saint Nick lore into their act. I used to do that. I mean, when I was doing the internet DJ gig, when Christmas time would roll around, we would do giveaways on the station, and I came up with a great theme for the giveaways. We made a game out of it. We made a contest out of it. And the name of the contest was Who Wants to Grab Santa's Sack? And then I would play a soundbite. I still have the soundbite. I'll put the soundbite in right here. And then I would, you know, give a riddle to everybody listening, and I would say, here's the riddle. No cheating, no going on Google. I actually found a website that was like at the back of the suggestions for Google. And I had a few of them that honestly, we didn't have a winner for like half an hour. no one could guess it. But I would read a riddle, and they had to give me the specific answer to the riddle, and then if they did, they won a prize, and it was really fun. I remember doing that every Christmas for like 3 years. Well, actually, it was more than that. It was like 5 years. And that was it was a hoot and a holler, and everybody had fun with it. But again, there's that Christmas motif. There's that we had to wait for, you know, December, obviously, and then I based that theme around Santa and Santa's sack. Now you could read into that however you want. That's fine, but no. Who wants to grab Santa's sack? Yeah, think about it for a second. So, but it's always interesting to see artists, musicians, actors, personalities, any sports, you know, athletes, anybody incorporate the Christmas theme and the lore of Santa and, you know, Saint Nick and everything. Incorporate it into what they're doing and the creative ways that they do it. And I thought that was really well done. I think it was very well executed. I'm just not sure if I could be completely wrong, and this show could have been in August for all I know. I mean, I have no idea. So again, if y'all could fill me in, let me know what the circumstances are behind this. I have a theory. I already told you my theory, and let me know if my theory is right. If it's not right, let me know what it is. Let me know what the correct answer is, so I can remember that for next time if we ever see anything like that again. In any case, 7.7, yeah, that feels good to me, and that is where we're going to stay. So let's wrap everything up here in a nice shiny bow, shall we? We have a 7.7, which is a really good skill rating, 4 to 5 stars, and a B+ letter grade. Take your pick, I don't care, whichever one of those floats your boat. Final word, final score, I have spoken. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. Hopefully you all enjoyed the show. Hopefully I was able to entertain you. If I was able to put a smile on your face and brighten your day, I did my job, and I'm so glad I could do it. If you guys feel like joining the fan base, go ahead and click on that button down there. If you guys want to like the video, go ahead and like the video. If you guys want to ring the bell, go ahead and ring the bell. It honestly doesn't make any difference at all to me, but if you guys feel like doing these things, well then by all means, feel free to do so. Well, that's going to do it for the night, folks. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, this is David Heretic signing off, reminding you to stay fabulous and support each other. Later. Peace.